Well, I expected to open this video lamenting the fact that we have another sports series running in the magazine, but there's a little bit more to this one, and I'm actually very excited to talk about this one. Hey. So today we're talking about Shonen Jump 2025 issue 32, in which we have the debut of a new series, Ping-Pong Peril, which we will be talking about momentarily. But before that, I want to mention this, compared to last week, this show will be a little different. I want to spend less time kind of summarizing stories and spend more time on talking about them, because I assume if you're watching the segment of that series, you have read the chapter. There's not much of a point in me going through what happened. I'll bring up points that I want to talk about in particular, but to spend less time yapping about nothing that is of any substance, I'm going to change that up a bit. And also, I just want to let everybody know right at the top of the show that there are timestamps in the description if you would like to skip ahead to any of the particular series that I'm talking about. So yeah, with all that out of the way, I'm ready to dive into some manga. Alright, so that was chapter 1 of a brand new series called Ping-Pong Peril by Yoshiharu Kataoka. And this was a great start, man. Like I said in the intro, when I saw the title Ping-Pong, which by the way, in Japan it is called Ping-Pong, straight up, just Ping-Pong, but I assume for reasons related to the fact that there is already a manga called Ping-Pong, Viz has decided to change the name to Ping-Pong Peril. And it has a really great logo, I gotta say. Viz did a good job on that. It looks really good. So as soon as I open up this chapter, I was immediately hit with that color spread, which is you're probably looking at right now, which features a girl with a gun in addition to a guy holding a ping pong paddle. So immediately I'm like, okay, this is a little different. This is not exactly a sports series. It still is, but not really. This is sports with a big twist. So this follows a kid, 16-year-old, classic, named Taira Mikado, who has a big debt because of his family. And he's swept up by this girl into a larger world where he has to play ping pong to bring down his debt, which is a very similar premise to Kaiji Ultimate Survivor, which isn't a series that I've fully watched or read, but I've seen some of it and I know what it's about. And it's a very similar setup. This is something a commenter actually last week said. This is from a pretty rookie mangaka. He's done a few one-shots, which I assume were somewhat successful, but I've never read them and I can't read them either. But yeah, just about everything about this series stands out to me. The premise is really cool. I love how, like, it's not really ping pong. It's ping pong peril, as they call it. I don't know what they call it in Japanese. Like, we got the room on fire while they're playing ping pong. It's just, oh my god, it's so cool. It's like actual danger. They are in danger while they're playing ping pong. This is high stakes ping pong. And it's amazing. The art is really nice too. Very dynamic, like quote unquote action, sports action, ping pong action. The backgrounds look really great. Character design, not the best, I'll admit, but I don't think we necessarily need great character design to carry this series because the premise alone is really great. The paneling and art is top notch. I really enjoyed my time reading this one. I'm actually extremely excited to continue with it into next week. This is the highest I've been on a new series in quite some time. I am a fan. This, I think, has potential, at least to me. You know, I mean, maybe it won't catch on to the larger audience of the magazine, but certainly already caught my attention, and you know, I'm excited to see more. This was a great start. I am very interested in the future of the series. Ichi the Witch, chapter 41, For You. This is already gonna be hard to top for chapter of the week. This was absolutely phenomenal. I actually got like emotional reading this chapter. This was beautiful. I loved everything about it. Obviously, coming after last week, I knew that we were going to get... I called exactly what was going to happen here, obviously. Like, it's going to be about his sister telling Gokuraku that he can leave. He can do whatever he wants. He's free. And I knew it would be amazing. I knew coming up, we were setting up for we were getting the pitch for a home run last week, and here's that home run. Oh my god, it was so good. The whole conversation between the two of them, her showing him all the people outside the castle, wanting to give their thanks to him for what he did, and then capping everything off with Gokuraku coming up to Ichi and being like, man, right now I want to do something for you. And just that stupid ass smile on Ichi's face. Oh my god, it's just so good. This was a phenomenal chapter. I loved everything about it. I'm so excited to have Gokuraku along for the ride as a permanent cast member. He's amazing. He's my favorite character so far, to be completely honest. Everything about him was handled with such grace, and I can't get enough. I can't wait for more. I'm so excited to have him officially on board for presumably the rest of the series. And this arc, the Bakugami arc, so to say, is definitely going to be remembered for a while for me as an early banger, if you can consider 41 chapters in early. But this is a peak of the series, and I don't expect the series to really be peaks and valleys. I think it will kind of just be good all the time. That's the vibe I'm getting. But who knows? We're still very early in the grand scheme of things. It could turn into something that I'm not a fan of later down the road. But I'm not being pessimistic about this series because I absolutely love it, and this chapter is no exception by any means. This was incredible, and I will be impressed if something can top this for chapter of the week.
Get this man a gun.
Sakamoto Days, chapter 220, I Won't Let You Die. It's a Sakamoto Days chapter. They got Sakamoto out of there, of course. Shin and the gang, Hardboiled's there. Because of course he is. He always just seems to show up whenever he pleases. And I just, I don't know about this chapter. It's fine, it's decent, but it's just, we're on this train with Sakamoto Days right now where things just happen. Like, there's a lot of last minute saves going on, last minute entrances, so on and so forth, and I don't know. It's just a lot, and now we end off with Shin just being like, all right, I gotta save him. There's only one thing I can do. He just says, work hard. I'm sure we'll get an explanation as to what's happening, but the way we leave it, it's almost just like he's willing the heart to work. He's just like, do it, work. I mean, obviously there's gotta be more to it. He seems to be taking this very seriously. Like, I don't know if he's somehow exchanging his life for Sakamoto's, but the framing as it is now is really funny to me. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But he sure is taking it seriously, so I gotta believe that this will work. But curious to see how this turns out. I want to know what work heart is exactly. It's the greatest mystery in the magazine right now, for sure. Blue Box Chapter 202, Just As I Am. So, pretty much what I expected to happen after the events of last week, except I didn't realize that Kyo was actually with a bunch of other people too. He was with the whole class with him. But yeah, I absolutely love this chapter. Kyo continues to be incredible. He's just the best dude ever. He drops so many hard-ass lines. He's like, I'm here with you because I like the way you are now. You know, directly calling out to... directly referring to the fact that, like, he's trying to make her do something and try to be a person that she isn't, which is really, it definitely doesn't land well with Kyo. Kyo's not a fan of that. So he has to step in and Kyo it up. He really saves the day here, and he ends off with the best line he's ever said, to be honest, where Kyo says, I did this for me. I just wanted to see Moria together with Chono and the others. He did it for himself. And, you know, he did. He really did. This is, it can be viewed as selfish, but it's also extremely selfless, obviously. He's He just wants to see Ayame happy. And that's beautiful. Ayame will wake up to it one day. It's a slow burn, as per usual with this series. We're gonna slowly get there. I'm sure she's gonna break up with this guy at some point when she realizes, like, this just isn't for me. But we also get a little insight into him and why he fell for her. And I don't really like it. I don't know if that's the point or not. He kind of just like, he saw her being pouty after like I don't know what it was exactly. They didn't say, just after something bad happened. Probably a breakup or something, and he thought to himself, like, I can treat her better. And that's not the greatest reason to start dating somebody, but you know, I don't know. He's a semi-sympathetic character, but I also don't super like him. He's kind of just, he's a dude. He's just a dude. But Kyo, obviously, #1 MVP. Always love him. Good chapter. Very good chapter. Kagurabachi Chapter 85 open. So this is a really good week of Jump so far, because this is another amazing chapter. You know, I probably could have guessed that after last week, because we are nearing the climax of this fight. This kind of just is straight up the climax that we're in right now, between Chihiro and Samura. The sword has been cracked. Samura's sword has been cracked, as we talked about last week. Wasn't sure if he'd cut the whole way through, but he did not. It just cracked. But that's still huge. Shortly following this, we get one of the greatest 2-page spreads in the series. Man, that's good. That is so good. I can't stop looking at it. That is really good stuff. And capping it all off with Samura opening his eyes and looking at Iori. I'm assuming, it's not exactly stated, but I'm assuming he decided to heal his eyes. And he's able to look at Iori. And that is beautiful. This was amazing. And yeah, that's almost certainly what's happening here, because it also looks like the scars are kind of going away. It's amazing. I can't wait to see next week. Obviously, this is just like part 1 of a larger emotional climax for Samura here. And it does seem like he's going to keep on living, I think. But who knows? Can't be too certain. But I really can't be too sure. This could be a fake out. We could have this could be a thing where he gets to look at her one last time before he bites the dust in one way or another. I don't know how he would die exactly, unless this kills him. I don't think it would. But I hope he doesn't die. I think there's a lot more to do with this character in a world beyond him just getting lost in the sauce, getting beyond his clouded judgment on the world. But yeah, amazing chapter. I really love this one. This is a great week of Jump so far.
What are you doing, stick bro?
Anyways, Exorcist Chapter 105, Croquette Roll. It's a funny chapter title. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, thankfully. I appreciate Kazusa for, not being stereotypical about the situation, like walking and being like, what is going on? What? Instead, she's pretty mature about it. She's like, I know Yajima well enough to know that there's something beyond his control happening here. So, shout out to that. You did the bare minimum. But it's still not a very good chapter. It's just kind of whatever. Like, I don't know. The Kazusa and Yajima ship teasing continues. This really does seem to be like it's going to end up being the canon couple whenever a decision is made on that and whenever they are allowed to be a couple, which may never really happen. Yeah, and the young, what was it, Yozora is annoying. I don't like her. She's really just a more blunt and direct Nue, and Nue is already kind of getting on my nerves lately. So a second Nue is not something I really needed in this series. But there's some like semi-sweet moments between the two of them, Kazusa and Yajima. It's okay, this isn't a terrible chapter. It's fine. I didn't hate it or anything. Especially because my expectations going into this chapter were that I would hate this. But it's fine.
Bruh.
Ekiden Bros Chapter 2, Bro Returns. Excellent title. Okay. I'm tuned out of this series already. I gotta be real. I don't see this lasting. I can see what it's doing on Chapter 2 already. This is a series that is really going to be trying to make itself sound more interesting than it is. And they spell it out immediately, almost immediately. There's a very funny line that I have to point out. Long distance running is fundamentally disconnected from all the tropes you see in sports manga. Right. And then we spend the rest of this chapter doing very typical, tropey sports manga activities. Like word for word, repeating lines that like every sports series says, like, I want to win, I have to win, I can't lose, I don't want to lose. Losing feels bad, winning feels good. No. This series is not going to be it. I hate to insult it right out the gate, but I'm not feeling it right now. I gotta call this kind of stuff out when I see it. And I'm definitely seeing it. I'm seeing the early signs of a series that is trying too hard to be something that it's not. It is a sports series, but I don't know why I just didn't embrace it. Like, just do the sports series thing and don't try to be like, oh, I'm different though. Look, I'm different, guys. You're not. You're just not. It's not different at all. There's nothing in this chapter. Like, they say all these points like, oh, you know, long distance running, you can't exactly improve. Like, you'll hit a brick wall. Okay. They say this kind of stuff in other sports series all the time. Nothing that was said in this chapter is unique to long distance running, especially in a manga context. I promise you. So, yeah, I just spent this whole chapter being annoyed. I did not like its attitude. Not very hopeful for the future of this one anymore. It wasn't even exactly last week, but this feels like it's digging itself an early grave, to me at least. Akane-banashi Chapter 165, I didn't realize. So after the cliffhanger from last week, definitely not disappointed by any stretch of the imagination. Hikaru begins her performance and it is amazing. It's so good. I have been waiting for this for a long time because it's been a minute since we've seen her perform. And as always, amazing art depicting the story she's telling. There's a story about a ghost named Okiku. And I really like the first instance of seeing this like ghostly apparition, and you know, it's relating to Hikaru's own life by as she's saying, Okiku is a woman without equal. And we're seeing the ghost depicted as Akane pretty clearly. And then later on, when she's actually playing the ghost for the play, it's her, and it's, you know, very creepy looking. I have the panel up on screen. I'm sure it looks sick as hell. I love it. Yeah, we don't get to finish her performance, obviously, this week, but we're going to continue it next week and probably get results, I would assume. Performances don't usually last too terribly long in the manga. Like, it's, I don't know, I'd say anywhere from 2 to 3 chapters for like a big performance, like for a character we actually care about. Sometimes longer, I guess. I think Akane has had some pretty long ones before, but that's the main character, so duh. Yeah, very good chapter. Harukaze Mound, Chapter 4, First Day of Clubs. You know, like I said last week, it is hard for me to talk about the early parts of sports manga. But, you know, at least in contrast, and, you know, honestly, thank God for Ekiden Bros for really pissing me off this week, because it reminds me of, like, you know, a sports series can still be tropey and be good at the same time. I think it has a lot of style. It's really... It is cool, you know. I think the character designs are neat. The setting is pretty nice. The art, I guess, the setting is pretty. It's just a school. What I'm trying to say is the art is nice. The way the setting is drawn is really cool. The series has good art. So far, the characters are nothing special, but this is definitely what's about to happen. Well, what's definitely about to happen is we're going to start slowly being introduced to each of the team members, which we've seen them all. We have their names. Not going to remember a single one of them for a very long time, but we have seen them all, I think. Pretty much all of them, at least. Yeah, we're probably going to be spending a lot of time getting to know them, and I'll hear it out. It's, you know, it can be exhausting. I not binge reading sports series is annoying. I gotta say, I've obviously done this before. I've been reading this magazine for a while. And reading a sports series week to week is not my favorite thing in the world to do. It is definitely not something I would do if I didn't, you know, do what I'm doing. But it is what it is, you know. I'll have to do it, and yeah, we're in the early stages. Gotta get used to the people, the vibe, the story. We do get to touch in on his brother at the beginning a little bit, which is nice. I hope we keep doing that. I'm really curious, like, are we gonna have a kind of deuteragonist situation? Like, are we gonna cut back between the two of them and see, like, both of their stories untwine? Or are we just kind of focusing on the one? I don't know either of their names, by the way. None of these names have stuck yet. But yeah, overall, not bad for a chapter 4 of a sports manga. I think it has its own identity, and it's promising. I'll hear it out. Witch Watch Chapter 208, Moe's Sticker Collection. Starting off with a nice color page here of our two fashion boys. Thrifting, I think? Are they thrifting? Or are they just kind of in a clothing store? I'm not really sure. Either way, looks really good. Love it. So anyways, here we go. Witch Watch is here. This is a Witch Watch chapter. This is a Witch Watch chapter I like. We have Morihito getting obsessed with these little collectible stickers that come in these, some kind of food. I forgot what it was exactly. He puts on a bunch of weight because he's buying a bunch of these, and he's obsessed with the lore behind the stickers, and that is so funny. This is the kind of shit I love. It's Morihito getting overly obsessed with something, as he does, and puts together like a whole lore chart, a relationship chart, piecing together all these descriptions from the back of the stickers. It's amazing. This is one I especially like, the completely over it, whose description reads, "I'm completely over conflict. These days I live alone in the mountains as a lumberjack. My trusty axe is also a reminder of the hundreds of corpses I once piled up like logs." That's great stuff. I love that. He's just uncovering the secret lore behind the sticker series, while his friends look on concerned, and then also get into it with him by the end, and they help him uncover the last bit of lore he was missing. He finds out the complete story of these stickers. Incredible. This is my favorite Witch Watch chapter in a very long time. I was laughing throughout the whole thing. Good stuff. And it's a Morihito chapter. Usually it's like the con chapters that make me laugh a lot. But no, Morihito got me this time. This is a great use of his gimmick of just getting really like locked in on stuff. Kaedegami Chapter 3, A Little Bit Angry. So, you know, I'm starting to pick up the vibe of this series. We seem to be doing like an episodic sort of deal, except this one's actually bleeding into the next chapter for the first time in the series. But I mean, that's saying absolutely nothing because we're 3 chapters in. But I only expect this to be like a 2-chapter ordeal anyways. But we have this interesting like donkey themed demon, or what were they, Shengwai or something? I'll learn it one of these days. Like freaky abusive parent type deal who runs a food stand. Yeah, I mean, seemingly they're gonna solve the problem and save this little girl who could end up being a main member of the cast. Who knows? We're so early, it's hard to tell. But yeah, I mean, it's got charm. It's something. I don't know. It's not really clicking for me. It's early, so maybe it will. But if this is all the series is, it's just kind of like episodic, deal with this demon, save this person. I mean, it'll be an entertaining read, but I assume that this will be more than that. It'll open up into something grander. And I also don't really know if I like the sound of that. So we'll see. This is, right now, this is just a series. That's about all I can say about it. I really got to let this one create its own identity, if it has one to create. It's just not sticking out in my head right now. It doesn't have a lot going for it, I'll be honest. Ultra of the Flame, Chapter 9, The Blade Horn. So, this is pretty cool. Nice action. Like, this is mostly about them breaking into like the palace of this Ice Kingdom soldier. Yeah, it was cool. It was some really nice action, really good looking ice effects and whatnot. And, you know, we end things off with the battle between these two, Otter and, what was it? A Bladehorn, yeah. Or Suruld. I doubt I'll have to remember this guy's name. He does look cool. I gotta admit, his design's pretty neat. I don't know if it'll end up being memorable per se, because I feel like he's just gonna get taken down and that'll be it for him forever. But he looks cool. And so last week I was pretty convinced that this whole thing would just be wrapped up with this chapter, because that's the kind of pace that this series has been moving at lately. But no, we're still going, which is cool. I'm glad this series is giving itself more time to do things instead of just moving on from one thing to the next very quickly. So yeah, looking promising. Just nothing, not much to say about this one. It's very nice looking. There's just no substance really. You know, I can see the beginnings of something cool. This fight could end up being pretty sick. This is giving strong vibes of like a very strong, like first real fight of a series. You know, I would never try to compare it to something like the beginning of Naruto or anything with Zabuza. This is definitely not going to be anywhere near that level, but could still be a pretty memorable first antagonist fight thing. Me and Roboco Chapter 240, The Date and Kaoru. This character's back, Kaoru. I completely forgot about her, to be honest. I haven't thought about her in however long it's been since she last appeared. Kind of a forgettable character. Her gimmick isn't my favorite thing in the world. Madoka shenanigans are always fun, though. I like how she keeps morphing into different jump characters. However, I think it was kind of overdone this time. This was a little much. It was like every page she was doing something, and then so getting called out for it, like directly saying what she was turning into, which removes any and all subtlety to any humor in this chapter. You know, it's a classic, like, girl has a crush on him, other girl is seen as a threat, shenanigans ensue. It was fine, nothing crazy. Cute moment at the end with Bondo giving Madoka a gift for her birthday. That's about all there is to it, though. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 51, Sakaki and Yuda. The cool color page here, starting off with Sakaki front and center. Looks great. Sakaki proving himself every chapter to be a better and better character, and definitely one to keep on your mind. And of course, we start the chapter with a really nice, you know, farewell to Yuda after he sacrificed himself for Sakaki's sake, and Sakaki looking really resolved to end this Black Parade. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Hope we don't lose him. It does seem kind of self-sacrificey, and we just had a fake-out death, so I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But the main thing I want to talk about with this chapter, actually, is this punch that you're seeing right on screen. That is so good. I was floored. Like, this series has really great art, but man, that took me by surprise. That is a good punch. It's, again, very Oda. Obviously, the series is incredibly inspired by Oda's art. But, oh my god, that is so good. I love that a lot. That is probably my favorite panel of the week. I don't do panels of the week, but if I had to pick one, this is it. This page, I guess, rather, you could say. Excellent, excellent punch. And then just some general action between Kiyoshi and the Demon Lord here. Great chapter, really good chapter. I like this one a hell of a lot, just like last week. Last week was better, but this week also extremely good. So yeah, keep it up, Kiyoshi. I'm rooting for you. Shinobi Undercover, Chapter 40, Priority Order. From one cool punch to the next. This is another awesome punch. Obviously, I'm skipping straight ahead to the end of the chapter, but that's awesome. This is a really good punch too. Looks really sick. It's just it's cool in a different way, because obviously Kiyoshi's art is a lot more simple than this kind of, I hate this, I don't want to say hyper detailed art of Shinobi Undercover, but it is more elaborate than Kiyoshi's. But this is great in its own way, and yeah, just solid action and emotions as per usual. You know, we get some good insight into Yoruka's character, which is I almost said that's unusual for the series, but it's kind of not. We actually do spend a good amount of time exploring his thoughts. Yeah, it's his opponent, which I forgot the name of, is starting to take him seriously, which is cool. This is probably the most excitement I felt for this whole like training battle arc thing that we're doing right now. Took long enough. Hima-ten Chapter 49, Sumire's Standing. Sumire is back. Character, it's fine. I don't have any strong feelings for her either way, but this chapter did kind of endear me to her a little bit more. I like how she, you know, she kind of was a tomboy and still views herself as a tomboy, but something about Hima just kind of, or Hima-ri's, her products, and her her vibe, I guess, just kind of stuck out to her, and it made her more comfortable with dressing up feminine, which is cool. You know, it's neat. It's helping. Himarian helped her discover herself a little more, which I think is sweet. But what I don't really like is the two of them, like Ie Mori and her being the two that we focus on. I feel like this chapter could have worked just as well if it was her and Hima going out. But she's kind of just interrogating him on, like, you know, Hima, you've caught Hima's eye, and you need to realize how big of a deal that is. I guess it is kind of an important conversation to have, but I don't know why it needed to be these two, and I don't know why we also need to do some more ship teasing with them. I don't. It's a romance series. It's going to happen. Like, we got to have another ship to throw in for little to no reason. But this chapter succeeded at endearing me to Sumire more, which I hadn't been done yet. I didn't really care for this character a whole lot, but I think I can comfortably say that I like her a little more now. So that's good. Good on them for that. But serviceable chapter. I liked it, but it was nothing crazy. The Elusive Samurai, Chapter 210, Dark War, 1351. Sorry, we were going to see Pessimist Cage come out here for a minute. This is another Takauji chapter, and it sure is a Takauji chapter. These are my least favorite chapters of Elusive Samurai. Anytime we get one of these, which there have been a lot lately, I'm tuned out. I just don't really care. It's the same thing every time. It's just like Takauji talking to people, slowly winning people over. It's been a semi more interesting recently because he had that big loss, and he's kind of, well, I know I can't even say he's like rebuilding, because he rebuilt immediately. And yeah, that was a cool moment. That was probably my favorite Takauji moment in a long time. But this isn't. This is just, we're back to normal Takauji stuff. He's being intimidating, he's being cunning, sneaky, tricky, and I just don't care all that much to see this so often. I get it at this point. Takauji's a big deal. I understand what he's all about. I don't think this moves the plot along in any capacity. I feel like we are just kind of stalling and saying nothing about the character, who we already have said a lot about, and I'm good. So yeah, sorry to Elusive Samurai fans. I'm not the biggest fan of this series. I think that's known, kind of, at this point. But this chapter especially just didn't hit. It's fine, I guess. Like, I can't say it was bad per se, but just not for me. These Takauji chapters are not my vibe.
You what?
Kill Blue, chapter 108, thank you. Oh man, I don't like where this is going. I'm already uncomfortable, and we haven't even gotten into this yet. Maybe it won't be as bad as I'm envisioning, but this series has not proven itself to be good. So, seeing it right now on screen, Norin has turned into an adult somehow after Ogami got sick. And she like almost kisses him. By the way, don't forget, Ogami's like a 50-year-old dude or something, 30, 40, I don't know. Oh, dude. Okay. What if she was always an adult? I'll be a little optimistic. What if this is a big twist where she is also an adult who was turned into a kid? It's something. It's something, but that's still not good. It's still not good. Oh God, I don't like where this is going at all. This is the most dread I have felt in this series in a while. Last week wasn't great either, but this isn't looking good. Yeah, no. Not into it. This might be a problem. Yeah. Okay, Kill Blue. Let's just see. I don't know. Maybe it won't be as bad as I'm thinking, but I'm getting bad vibes.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nice Prison, Chapter 11. The 2 model prisoners plus alpha. Congrats to Nice Prison for getting the biggest laugh out of me this week, but not because it was funny. Because it thinks it's so funny that it now has a 4-panel theater segment at the end of every chapter. I laughed my ass off. I turned the page. I saw it. I saw to be continued, and then there's another page. I was like, what is this? Is this like a mistake? Turn the page. Nope. He thinks he's so funny. He's funny enough to have 2 more comics, essentially, in the magazine. He's putting his little comedy bits in this magazine. He's just sneaking them right in. Nice Prison 4-panel theater. Not even remotely funny. Like, not even close to being funny. Oh my god. Get this thing out of here. Who does this guy think he is? Are people in Japan finding this guy funny? Is the humor like so Japanese that I just can't find any humor in it? Or maybe the translation doesn't work? Like, is this only it's a linguistic problem? Whatever it is, I need to be educated because this is blowing my mind. This guy thinks he is the funniest man to have ever roamed the earth, I think. He's just high on his own farts, like, for real. He thinks he's comedy god. Wow. All right. Nice. Nice. All right, that's going to do it for this week of Shonen Jump. Pretty solid week. There was some... the bad series were pretty bad this week. The good series were really good this week. And there was a little bit of just in-between, middle-of-the-road stuff along the way. Pretty typical. But as far as Chapter of the Week goes, I have to give it to Ichi the Witch, Chapter 41, for you. Amazing chapter. Talked about it enough already. It was absolutely incredible. I love that chapter to death. That is maybe even my favorite chapter in that series so far. It just really hit me hard. Yeah, it'll stick with me. Also, real quick, before we wrap up this episode, I want to talk about the big news this week with the Black Clover anime coming back. Black Clover fans, rise up, because, man, we're getting, if you know, you know. Little spoiler here, Magna versus Dante. It's finally going to be animated. One of the greatest manga fights of all time, if you ask me. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to have that back. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that real quick, because I'm excited. So yeah, that's all we got this week. I'll see you guys next week for issue 32, where no new series, but Sakamoto Days will be taking the cover page, which exciting. I'm excited to look at that cover and talk about it. Yeah, till then, remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and so you don't miss the next one. And check out my other videos. I just did a collection video if you want to see all the stuff behind me and more stuff to come. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.